Here we are, AVG Fantasy Football Podcast. The AVG Fantasy Football Podcast, Season 3, Episode 22, baby. We're here. We're here for you, for your fantasy team, Fantasy Football.
We're the number one podcast.
The number one fantasy football podcast
in the world.
Actually, the number one podcast, period.
We've actually grown in the universe.
Yes. Right now we are live because every Thursday we do a live stream at 7 p.m. So if you want to join in on the podcast fun with us, Thursday, 7 p.m. every Thursday. We're here for you, okay? What we're doing today, we're doing a Dynasty mock draft. So it's just quick 4 rounds, only rookies. This is good for if you are in or about to be in a Dynasty league, and also it's just good if you want to get a little bit of knowledge on rookies coming into the year. This is our second one we've done on this. So if you're listening to this in the future, you can listen to our previous one as well. But yeah, so first we'll get into some news before we start the mock draft. Just a quick little, probably mostly just Dalvin Cook, to be honest. And then we're gonna
What's up, Seth?
We're gonna be talking about.
Sorry.
No, yeah, you good. Yeah, so before we start, though, I just got to say, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you're listening to this in the future, leave us a review and rating on the Apple Podcast app. It really helps us out big time. So just had to get all that out of the way. And let's get into it, huh,
Dude,
boys?
I don't know how you do that one breath every time.
I know. I feel like I'm like not breathing. I'm just trying to remember it, dude. That's why I started writing these checklists right here because there's so many things. So many things to talk about.
It's those Bang energies. It's keep you focused.
Oh, I know, truly. I need to chill out on these energy drinks. This on top of, like Monsters.
Yeah, on top of Monsters.
I felt like a Monster and a half and a Bang. Yeah, it's a little too much. But yeah, let's get into it, boys.
Do it. Yeah, we could talk about the whole Dalvin Cook contract situation. Basically, just says he wants to get a reasonable contract. He's only scheduled to make $1.6 million this year. I mean, for what Dalvin Cook is, I know he's kind of like injury, prone in a sense. Last year he played majority of the season, but still got banged up kind of a little bit towards the end. But I mean, just looking at what he's making, 1.6, it's not mad that he wants to get paid. I mean, you got guys like Brian Hill, Rashard Penny, Mike Davis, Rex Burkhead. I mean, Giovanni Bernard, Duke Johnson, like guys like that are making way more money than him. So
I mean, yeah, it's
only understandable that he wants to get paid. I think he's asking for a reasonable contract, which is like $13 million. That's around David Johnson. Going to be more than what Derrick Henry would make, but he'd be like the 5th highest paid
I thought it was fourth.
running back, or 4th, or tied 4th with David Johnson, yeah. So, I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think he holds out? Do you think him and the Vikings kind of meet in the middle? He's not asking for like that crazy contract like Le'Veon Bell was, or even Melvin Gordon in a sense. So he just wants to be compensated for what he's worth in a sense.
I think isn't that more than Melvin wanted? Melvin wanted like 12, I think, right?
Yeah, I mean, he was
so it's
there.
more. I don't know. I think to me it comes down to possibly what the Vikings think of Madison. We saw that with last year with the Vikings and Eckler. It was like, all right, you want to hold out? We got Eckler.
Or the Chargers and Eckler.
Yeah, Chargers and Eckler.
Yeah.
Sorry, the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah.
And Eckler. So I mean, if they believe that Madison can carry the load and Dalvin Cook's not going to budge, it wouldn't surprise me if this goes up to the wire or even into the year. To be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know how the Vikings feel about that. I'm sure we'll find out getting closer to the deadline. But we've seen guys hold out, so if he's holding out, I'm not touching him.
And Madison was good for him too. So
yeah,
I mean, I forgot Mike Boone's there also, but can they afford to pay him also? I mean, is another thing. I mean, and how much is he gonna? I think he's gonna drag it out for a little bit.
Yeah,
but I mean, they should pay him. They should, but I mean, reasonable is such a subjective word. Like, what's reasonable? Like to the Vikings, it could be completely different than to what Dalvin thinks is reasonable.
Yeah.
They could be like, well, you only had really one good year. So we reasonably think $8 million.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, fuck that. I'm way better than that.
Well, they could even be trying to do he might want guaranteed money, but they're like, we're not going to give you guaranteed because you get guaranteed to not stay in this. You're not going to guarantee you're going to stay on the field because you haven't done it for the last 4 years. So,
or like,
no, they're not going to say it like that, but that's how they're
you got to protect
intellectually those
decisions. To spend $13 million on a running back, you can go out and draft someone next year in the second round and have Madison, and you can almost kind of, in a sense, get 90% of what you're getting out of Cook. So sometimes it doesn't make sense for the teams to spend all this money on them.
Yeah. I think they get a deal done. I mean, does he get $13 million? I mean, maybe not, but I mean, I could see him getting like $10, $11 million. I think what it'll come down to is the guaranteed money. If they sign him like a 4-year, $44 million contract, but 25 is guaranteed compared to like 20 guaranteed or 18 guaranteed or something like that. Like that's probably where they're gonna have to meet in the middle. But I think they get a deal done. He's like the centerpiece of that offense. it's kind of hard to say like certain guys are injury prone or not. Some people just have some bad luck. I mean, I remember there was a string where Keenan Allen was banged up for a couple
he had,
years.
like, a lacerated
he was getting
kidney.
some crazy injuries, and but I mean,
Dog
he's been healthy for like 3 straight years now. So I think that's just kind of, you can't really dictate that and judge that. So
I mean, you can also do like a 2-year like incentive base. Like if you play, 14 games, you get like a, like a bonus. They do that. So
for sure.
I mean, I think it's more possible than he holds out than we think. It's these running backs are holding out now. They want their money.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
they
for
have
sure.
like one legit contract, and he's still young. And if they're not going to give what he wants, I think it's a decent chance he holds out.
For sure.
Hey, we got a comment says, this person says, I'm a little bi-curious about Dalvin's situation.
Dude, that's like
Bi-curious.
the poniest comment I've heard in a while.
Mike likes
So,
it.
so if like I said before, this is recorded live. So if you're listening to this in the future, you can comment and kind of play around with the podcast. So
Want me to start it?
For sure, yeah. All right, we're about to jump into this rookie mock draft right here. Just 4 rounds, half-point PPR rookie mock draft. Like I said, even if you're not in a dynasty league, just it's good to know who these rookies are. So when you do your redraft league, some of these rookies are going to go in these middle rounds. So it's always good to know the rookies compared to a lot of players. They'll kind of just go for the veterans or players that have already been in the league. But don't sleep on these rookies. There's a lot of good rookies that can come in and help you with your fantasy team. So just some good information so you can find out who these guys are and what we think about them.
And I mean, and now time's gone on from our first mock, things have happened. Obviously the draft also. So, I mean, we'll see how different this looks. I'm going to start this bitch right
All
now.
right, ready, go.
I think last time we did it.
Knock my shit over.
Nice.
Chris, I see you already know who someone's taking in the second round right in front of me.
So we have the medicine man on the clock.
Wait, can we do trades? Because I'll bring out the clipboard to you. We can send it.
That's a little
the,
too high tech for
the
trades.
medicine man is number 1. I'm gonna say he goes Clyde Edwards. Yep, there we go.
Ooh, Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Clyde Edwards
Nice,
is off
nice,
the board.
nice.
So,
He was a little bi-curious about Clyde Edwards. That's the unanimous trade? Is Clyde Edwards going
Pretty
first?
much.
I mean, now, I mean, it's really, it's a strategy thing too. I mean, some teams like to tank for a couple years. So I mean, at 2, some, if you're looking at like a long-term play, some will take J.K. Dobbins. I know my boy, Caucasian Braid, my dude, he took him because I mean, it's a good play. He might not pop, as much this year as a year after, but so Taylor and Dobbins can be switched. I mean, people still like Swift too. So
Yeah.
but yeah, CEH is for sure the one, and then it's like Taylor.
Yeah. CH
Taylor
is
and
one of my favorite players coming in this draft. I mean, the guy's like, he does it all. He's not the biggest guy on the field, but he does it all. Catch the ball, run the ball, and in a high-powered offense like the Chiefs, I mean, dial it up. Give me as much Clyde Edwards-Helaire as you can.
Yeah, from what I've been reading, he's been balling. Well, he's been calling Bieniemy the coach, and he's like telling him to like overload him with like the plays and all that. So I guess he's like really, really trying to learn and trying to like be up to par as he can. Because I mean, Damian Williams is still up there. He should outperform him though. Yeah. Damn, it's quick.
We got Jonathan Taylor going second. I'm kind of starting to like Jonathan Taylor a little more. It's kind of, for me, it's becoming kind of a little bit of a Phillip Rivers thing where he just tends to lean on the running backs because he's immobile. And whether Jonathan Taylor is a good passing back or not, I think he might have a little bit of a higher floor than I was originally thinking with Phillip Rivers. I'm not talking 50 receptions, but maybe it's 25, 30, and it's kind of nice to have that little bit of a receiving floor. So I'm kind of getting a little bit more optimistic on him.
Yeah. And the upside to take it to the house.
Oh my God, I almost didn't get in here. Okay, I got Cam Akers. I still really like Cam Akers.
Yeah. So it goes DeAndre Swift after that.
Ooh, bang.
Cam Akers,
J.K. Dobbins.
Keyshawn Vaughn, and then now I am on the clock.
So like you can look. We'll bullshit here. I mean, Swift 3. I mean, if he didn't go to the Lions, you could have put Swift, almost any other spot, and he would have been up there. It's just the Lions and their history with running backs. Kerryon Johnson. That's why a lot of people were kind of skeptical. That's why I was skeptical. I passed on him at 1-4 in our league, and I went with Akers at 4, and then Swift went 5. So it's.
Nice.
Yeah, I think to your point is I actually personally think J.K. Dobbins has probably the highest ceiling out of probably all these.
Yeah, and the offense.
For a longer like. What does it? Would be a brick of time or a period of time? I think he has probably the highest ceiling, just tied to the for sure quarterback and for sure offense for probably the longest period of time, and a workhorse role.
Yeah.
Size, other things. CEH is, I mean, he's going to be up there too, but he's a little bit of a smaller guy.
Ooh, T.
All right, so I take CeeDee Lamb, the first wide receiver off the board. The more I keep like looking into this Cowboys offense, like at first glance I was thinking they didn't need a wide receiver. They have Gallup, and we were pretty hyped on Gallup before they even drafted CeeDee Lamb. And I'm just thinking like if we were that hyped on Gallup, like CeeDee Lamb is better than Michael Gallup, and
Yes.
I think CeeDee Lamb is going to be what we thought or initially thought that Michael Gallup would be. I mean, Gallup led the league with 13 drops. Yeah. Randall Cobb was not long there, had 9 drops. And Amari Cooper had 7 drops. So, I mean, 43 drops were the most by any team for Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. So I think CeeDee Lamb gets in there, and I think he's a stud. I think he's a value for where he's being drafted in redraft leagues.
Absolutely.
I just want to do a quick shout out to Savannah. She gave us 5 stars on Apple, followed us on Twitter, subscribed to our YouTube, and what else is it? And on Instagram. Well, I think she already followed. But shout out Savannah.
What do you need, like $20? I'll let you borrow $20.
Dude, and 5 Apple stars are the best stars.
Yeah.
In case you're
all right, we got Judy.
5 Mansana stars. Yeah, to me it came down as I didn't. It was a tier decision. You know, the running backs there. I like the receivers better. Judy. I mean, Sutton is there. If Locke takes that step and ends up becoming a franchise type of quarterback, you know, we'll see how Judy develops. But I think he has the talent to even eventually overtake Sutton as the number 1 receiver potentially.
Yeah. Oh, Jefferson, Chris, I see you. All right.
And I was actually thinking about him for a second, to be honest, because Adam Thielen's 31 years old, and Cousins has still got some years under his belt, and you know, if Thielen goes in a year or two, Justin Jefferson could potentially be the one there.
One there.
Versus where Jerry Jeudy might be 1A, 1B, and we don't know what Locke's going to be. Versus we know what Cousins is going to be for a few years.
Yeah. All right, Dre, the Messiah, is on the clock right now.
What's interesting, just from looking at what's left, it's crazy how much Michael Pittman Jr. has like jumped up in rankings. Because before when we did our draft, he was, I mean, Rager was for sure, you know, rated above him. So.
Yeah. You know me, I love Michael Pittman Jr.
I know, me too. And I'm a USC guy. Which
shout out Evan. Evan, what's good? It's good in the comments.
Man.
And Trey,
I'm gonna get him.
Trey, good looking out. Trey coming on.
What's really good?
Damn, there it is.
Is that who's over there?
I took Pittman Jr. for that reason. Oh, I see you,
I
Ruggs.
forget that.
I forget it goes backwards in rookie drafts.
It's not Snake for rookie draft.
I almost set it up on Snake on accident.
Why'd you go Michael Pittman Jr. right there? Like you said, he was going in like the second round.
Yeah.
Last time. Now he goes in the back end of the first.
Actually, I mean, a lot has to do with like today. I saw this. They did like a piece, I want to say, on NFL Network about how Phillip Rivers is just like trying to come back with like a vengeance. I guess he's like because he has like a familiarity with all the coaches, like Reich and the I want to say like their old coordinator or whatever. They all worked together previously. So I guess he already knows most of the plays, but I guess he heard all the shit they were talking about him as far as how bad his year was. But it was more about the O-line. Like he's gonna have a lot of time to get out to these weapons. So I like. I mean, he's gonna, like you said, he's gonna be like the Mike Williams basically for the
He's
Colts.
been ignoring all 20 of his kids. He's like, you know, Dad needs to get to work, right?
He's like, I've had enough kids.
Hired like 10 babysitters for 20.
Yeah, I think Taylor and Pittman are gonna help Phillip Rivers a lot though with that O-line. I mean, it's they're top notch, number 1. So.
Yeah, and then Jalen Reagor went next.
Wow,
Laviska Shenault Jr. And then we had the first quarterback go off the board in Mr. Joe
Burrow.
Joe Donkey.
Joe
And then I'm going to go with a receiver. I'm going to go Denzel Mims.
So, I mean, real quick, I mean, Jalen Reagor.
This is why he's hot.
He's like one of those hitter, like he's like boomer bust. I think he's either going to ball or he's going to be like a John Ross. And I know a lot of people talk about Ruggs like that, but that's what I think about Reagor. Like, just like, I mean, I don't think you like him as much as.
Yeah, no. All right, so Joe Burrow, Denzel Mims, KJ Hamler, and then the second quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa.
Right before you. Were you upset right there? Did you want Tua right there?
You know what? I probably would have went homer pick and took Tua right there. The computer snaked me.
The damn auto draft.
So
I will say with Reagor that he has an opportunity to actually have opportunity this year. With Jeffrey not even starting the year, and then Deshaun Jackson just seems to not be able to stay on the field.
Yeah,
he's for that reason. He's going to get the opportunity. It's just like
I like some of the stuff I saw from him. But he could be his boomer bust. But he does actually. He's one of the rookie receivers that's down farther that does have potential for opportunity this year.
It's like I almost want to take him in a
Hamburglar.
league. I almost want to take him in a league just like if I'm wrong, I'll be like, fuck. At least I got him.
You got one share.
Yeah, like he could be more of a standard league guy.
I'm going to go T. Higgins right here. I love T. Higgins out of
It's his
Clemson.
boy, T.
I think that
Your
you know,
boy T.
back in the day, the Bengals, they drafted Andy Dalton and A.J. Green in the same draft, and you just saw the connection and the rapport between them just grow automatically. And, for years and years, A.J. Green and Andy Dalton have been successful. So I think Joe Burrow and T. Higgins is like the Andy Dalton, A.J. Green connection 2.0 for the Cincinnati Bengals. So, yeah, I love T. Higgins, just a big body guy out of Clemson.
Yeah, and he's. I mean, obviously this is dynasty, so he's gonna be like a year 2 guy, especially with AJ Green. Seeing what they do with him, he could be a stud for the next at least 5-6 years, especially with him and Burrow growing together in the offense.
Oh shoot! Wait.
That wouldn't surprise me. He's a big boy too,
T. Higgins.
and it's your boy T. You gotta get him.
Hell yeah.
You gotta get him.
Anthony McFarland. Ooh,
I'm gonna make a homer pick.
Oh man, I was gonna
I'm gonna go
snag
Anthony
him.
McFarland Jr. James.
How's that a homer pick for you?
I'm just kidding. I was just saying it. Dude, maybe I like the Steelers.
Oh yeah.
James Conner. I mean, he hasn't been a symbol of health. Anthony McFarland, kind of an explosive type of player. And then I took a receiver. I kind of like, I've never done an actual rookie draft, like, to be honest. So I kind of want to balance my picks out.
For sure.
Because I feel like in most rookie drafts, you probably have a symbol of some starting like wide receivers and running backs already. So I kind of want to balance it out, and maybe I hit on one of each position or 2 of each position. So kind of stay balanced in this rookie draft. See how I like it out. Because last time I think I went receiver heavy in the rookie draft. You got to play with them.
Oh, and it's for sure about balance too. I mean, unless depending on what your team looks like beforehand, but
Yeah.
the goal is usually you want to take a little bit of both.
For sure. All right, so Brandon Ayuk comes off the board.
Ayuk.
Next, Ayuk. We got to get that drop.
Or I could just do it every time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That is the drop.
My boy, I know. I wanted to go running back, but Bryan Edwards.
Do you think Bryan Edwards is going to come out and start? I mean, like, what do you think
Yeah.
is the thing? You think he'll be out there with him and Ruggs and who? Renfro?
I mean, to start maybe with him, maybe not initially, but Tyrell Williams seems to find his way to get hurt also. So, or for Ruggs, I mean, he's just a big body guy. I don't know. I think it's probably because I like him so much, but
Yeah.
I think once he gets on the field, I think he's going to excel. And I think, like I said, because I like him so much as far as like his peak age, he's been playing since he was 17. So he played in college. He's like a vet almost.
Yeah.
As far as he's probably the most experienced college receiver that came out of the draft because he's been a true 4-year starter all the way. So, Derek Carr sucks though. So
Hey, it comes back around. I know. I just can't get excited about any of these.
yeah,
these
I mean AJ Dillon
or Vegas receivers.
Like we said, the Packers haven't re-signed they haven't given a second contract to a running back since James Starks in 2010. So maybe they see him as being the next dude up, so he can be patient with him.
Or insurance, at least.
I mean, Aaron
Yeah.
Jones hasn't been the model of, like, health.
Well, yeah, this past year was the first year he actually didn't finish on IR because the 2 years before he finished
Yeah.
on
I mean,
IR.
and he's got to be coming up in a contract year, too. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
this year.
what if he wants, like, $10 million? What, are you going to hand a guy like him $10 million?
Yeah,
Kind of like the Dalvin Cook situation almost.
For sure. And then speaking of Antonio Gibson, same thing. He's behind guys who's played 5 games in 2 years?
Yeah.
5.
5.
That's pretty
Yeah, he
wild.
was another guy I was eyeing too, actually.
And then
Yeah.
who's this next whack ass dude after that? Who's that?
Chase, you're dumb.
Claypool.
Chase Claypool comes up for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I honestly, as a Steelers fan, there's just a lot of different there's a lot of changing within the Steelers offense.
Yeah,
just
for sure.
And Chase Claypool is actually like second on what's it called, the depth chart. So I'm actually not that excited about him, but I could see him getting involved later on. So I guess in a dynasty, I wouldn't mind it that bad, but definitely in redraft, I wouldn't be touching him.
It's somewhere too. They're not guaranteed to sign Juju, so if they didn't, let's just say,
Right.
it would leave an opening for Chase Claypool in the future.
Yeah, I just would say
future.
I would just say
Chase Claypool in the
was
future.
when they drafted him, they were posting videos of him blocking, so like his highlights.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know if that says anything.
The Steelers are probably like, why the fuck are they showing videos of him blocking? Because we did not.
And I'm gonna go here, little running back upside right here, boy.
Evan, you took Lynn Bowden Jr. That was going to be my pick.
Did you guys hear about him today or yesterday? But the whole drug. I mean, it's all fake news though. They seized they raided a house and they found like machine rifles and like all these guns and shit. But it was his grandma's house, and he was like, really had nothing to do with it. Like his name is already cleared, but the way they came up with it, they made it seem like
There's like headlines saying putting his name with it.
well, because he did have like a troubled past, like coming up, like that was one of his problems. They said like, you know, they said he has like, remember I said he has like 70 tattoos, so they thought he was like more hood and street, and all this and that. But they ended up finding out that it was like had nothing to do with him at all.
You're talking about Lynn Bowden.
Yeah, Lynn Bowden. Yeah. So he's good.
What do you guys think about Darrington Evans?
I like him.
I like it too.
Personally.
I feel like Dion Lewis was actually like fantasy relevant a little bit, like as a flyer a couple years ago. And I think Derrick Henry, he touched the ball so much last year. There's no way that he's going to not, and there's no way that he's not banged up from that this past year.
And he's a bigger body. He's like 6'1", 220, 215. Like, so he's built a little bit bigger than Dion Lewis, and he can catch.
And I mean, if there's the off chance he doesn't sign again in Tennessee, then
Yeah.
I mean, he'll be the next guy up.
All right, then we got Benjamin from you. What made you? Is this because he's went to Arizona?
Maybe.
Maybe.
No, he's actually in a good landing spot. I mean, he went the 7th round in real life in the real draft, and he could be a backup.
I think
next year.
I think you saw in games when Kenyon Drake was out, Chase Edmonds was viable, and who else was there? Somebody else was, but I just think that I don't mind Eno Benjamin. I think he's talented. I think, yeah.
T, what about your dude, Devin the Dude? I know you wanted to get him.
Yeah, Devin the Dude. If he would have fell, I would have slipped him there. I definitely like Devin the Dude Duvernay.
You got snaked by skipped to your Lou.
There's no such thing
And
as
then you
a
got
snake.
Joshua Kelly, another good. I mean, he's in a good landing spot because Eckler. Anytime you can be an injury away from playing time, you know what I mean. He's gonna be. I mean, it's gonna be him and Justin Jackson, but he's a pretty underrated, man. He's a bigger body, but he runs like a 4.5.
4.5.
4.5. And then you got DJ.
DJ Dallas from Seattle. I just took him. See what happens with him in running back. Michael P. Ryan from the Jets, right?
Yeah, LaMichael.
Yes.
Oh shit.
New York Jets.
Okay.
Does that make you nervous about Le'Veon
Chris Tyler Johnson?
No.
I
It's my third. It's my third pick too.
he wanted to get him.
No, not Le'Veon. I'm saying, does them getting LaMichael P. Ryan make your stock on Le'Veon Bell go
My
lower?
stock's already been low. Maybe I'm
Well, yeah.
Man, what's crazy is look how many running backs for people in dynasty leagues. Just look how many have gone. I mean, you've had what, 18? Am I close? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
I mean, a lot. Definitely a lot. For
16.
Sure.
I was trying to do it. I mean, because already Jason Huntley's like the best available, which is wild. But you still have some good quarterbacks. I mean, you still have Herbert, Hurts, Love. I don't want to force a running back right now. So I'll go another wide receiver.
We're just gonna do 4 rounds, right?
I like this guy. So when we did our draft, he wasn't really he was like more undrafted, but I remember I sent you videos or I had you look at him. I don't know if you remember Courtney Davis, Texas A&M. Didn't play that much. He had an injury prone season, so he kind of slipped under the radar, but like Anthony was saying, Thielen's 31 years old. He's for sure better than BC Johnson. Like, go look at his film. He's a lankier guy. He's more raw. But I think like a late round flyer, maybe sit on him for a year. He could be one of those guys that can pop, second year because he's in a good position. Because there's not really that, they don't have that many receivers over there in Minnesota. You got like Don Beebe, right? His son. And then that's it. BB and BC.
BB and BC.
BB and BC.
BC.
And then you got Jefferson. So, I mean, he's, the path of least resistance.
The path
And then we had,
of least
resistance.
resistance.
We had the Cephus.
And then you got AGG. Oh, Quintez. A lot of people are big on him. He's like a slower receiver, but I guess he's like almost like an Anquan Bolden, like big physical dude. Remember the Lions fan, dude? He was all over us. So maybe if he's watching, like,
How many of these like
him
in
out.
normal drafts, like these third, 4 receivers on a year hit on basis or running backs? Maybe one.
I mean, last year was different. I mean, Terry McLaurin went in the 3rd round last year. Darius Slayton was undrafted.
But just like a general,
it's-
just like a general year. maybe one or two.
You'll probably get receivers are more apt to pop than running backs.
Yeah.
Like you can get like those games here and there. But yeah, McLaurin was like more of like
let me.
what up?
I was just gonna ask. It feels like in redraft leagues, there's a lot of running backs that are like it seems like there's a top tier, and then it just after like the 4th or 5th round of redraft leagues, there's like no running backs left that are RB1s.
Yeah.
Do you think that this is a year where you could go and snag these rookie running backs within like those later rounds?
In redraft?
Because it just seems like just the amount of running backs, like you were saying. I guess there is now more receivers have gone off, but do you get what I'm trying to?
No, yeah. No.
Say?
With this draft, I will say that the first 5 running backs you see right here is the same first 5 running backs you'll see as far as like a drop off in redraft leagues for like rookies. Like we already know CEH is going to go top 30 picks in redraft. You know what I mean? Like someone's going to take him up there. Jonathan Taylor,
Right.
like the first 5 guys, they'll probably J.K. Dobbins maybe not, but even Cam Akers, he'll probably go at the latest the 7th. You know,
I just realized it was my turn.
Oh, dude, maybe you
like
should
over
pay
here
attention,
talking.
dude.
you know what I mean? Like 6th or 7th
Yeah.
round. That means it's engaging. That means you're listening. That works.
Yeah.
But no, I mean the first 5 guys are going to be going pretty high in redraft leagues.
We had our 3rd quarterback go. I feel like we had quarterbacks go earlier than the last time we did this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of position guys are for sure making like that jump up 100%. Like Desmond Patton, who was good in college, he wasn't really. I don't even think he was looked at to be drafted. And this year isn't a strong tight end class either. So
Those tight ends.
it's damn tight ends.
This year.
Okay, so we had
Where-
Justin. Did we say Justin Herbert went next?
Yeah, we didn't.
And we did have our first tight end going, Cole Kmet.
Which was just the Bears are tripping, man. I hope there's no Bears fan in there. They took him in the 2nd round. Like,
That's it.
like
That was Mike. Minnie did that.
no. I'm talking about in real life. In real life. No, I think he's actually going to be good in a couple years. But the Bears just, I don't know.
Well, it's still Matt Nagy there, and he's comes from that Kansas City system who wants like that Travis Kelce type of move tight end, that guy who can do everything. So, they're the one making this pick. So whether he's there next year or not, that's a different story. But that's probably why they invested a 2nd round pick in a tight end, is because he wants that for his offense specifically. I know they did go out and sign Jimmy Graham, right?
Yeah.
Jimmy Graham's there, so he's older, so it's kind of more of a future pick with that, and I'm thinking that's why the Bears made this decision, because
Kinda let him develop.
when you're head coaching, you don't think you're going to get fired on a year basis, but if the Bears suck, he's probably gone.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
He's lucky he's got Kittle, Kelsey, and Komet. He's just lucky his name
Jeez, the case.
rings. Yeah, he's lucky. Otherwise, I'd say he sucks.
Yeah. All right, right here, I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts. I pretty much think Jalen Hurts is going to be like a poor man's Lamar Jackson. I mean, the guy's played for Alabama, Nick Saban. He's played with Oklahoma.
Succeeded.
So, he's played in some talented programs in college football. I mean, the guy can throw the ball, and obviously he's built like a running back, so he can run the ball. So, like I said, I really do feel like he's like a poor man's Lamar Jackson. I mean, we'll see what happens with Wentz. If he can stay healthy. He's kind of been banged up a little bit, but I don't think you draft Jalen Hurts just to have someone who like him just to sit on the sideline. So I think they'll incorporate him in packages. And I mean, this is a dynasty draft. So even if he plays 3-4 years with the Eagles, and then maybe he gets a contract extension somewhere to become the guy, which will only make it even better because he's had time to learn. So
Hey,
I think he could
Hurts.
potentially be like a Taysom Hill type. for
Mike,
the
I think we're
team,
gonna say the
but
same
if
thing.
Wentz is good, Wentz isn't getting benched.
Are you talking about chat?
So he's kind of
Yeah.
like a risk reward type of like.
yeah, I
dynasty
said
pick.
I'm thinking like future too.
Yeah.
Like once if he signs to another team.
Hey, I just got a death threat on our chat. They said if we don't go full redraft, they're gonna fucking unfollow us, unsubscribe, and leave.
Good, do it.
I
You
gotta
won't.
take-
I'm just kidding. No, they're saying they're down to do a whole a 12-man redraft. I mean, this is flying by.
All right, I won't talk.
Sorry.
Nah,
No, good.
Hey, if you guys are watching it, we'd prefer you talk in either the YouTube chat or one of the live streams, but just
Sorry,
so we can more easily see it. But Colby wrote in the chat, pretty sure the Bears have 5 or 6 tight ends on their roster right now,
Yeah, they do.
which is that's. I think the last Bears tight end I drafted was Trey Burton.
Who just didn't?
Who
I mean,
didn't
they
really-
try to have him work. They
They
wanted him to
tried.
work out. They really did.
Yeah, they did everything they could. It just didn't.
They got their participation trophies and said that's enough.
Did
All right,
someone
you
take?
get out of here.
They said we tried.
All right, I'm gonna go with.
Where are you going?
Is it even? Did someone take him already? Or am I blind as shit?
Probably both.
Yeah, all
There's
of the
potential
Yeah,
for both to
D,
happen.
all of the above. Who are you looking for?
I'll just take him.
We'll say the name.
Yeah, say it.
There. I took Jermichael Hasty. I mean,
I just like his name.
Is that a homer pick?
It is, but I also did like
Hey, you gotta take
I
your
talked about him a little on one of our episodes. He just happened to go to the Niners as an unrestricted free agent. He kind of plays like DJ Dallas, like low center of gravity, good contact balance. Went to Baylor. He did good. He went to the Senior Bowl and he did score a tug. I mean, the Niners just do well. I think it was me and T talked about it. They just do well at getting undrafted guys and just doing work with them. I mean, you got Mostert, you have Breida, you have Jeff Wilson Jr. I mean, these guys weren't highly coveted drafted guys. So, and his film looks good.
Yeah, I was joking around with you. I was like, oh, the Niners, they trade away Matt Breida to the Dolphins, and then they go out and they replace him
With Matt.
immediately with Michael Hasty. So, yeah. And then that was it. After that, I went Donovan Peoples-Jones from the Browns, and then
That's
I
it.
can't
It's
even
the
read that
fourth
name.
round in a rookie draft, so it's like if you're deciding between players, like why not take someone on like your team a little bit? that
Yeah,
you
I
like?
think I did 5 rounds, but we're good. You don't have to pick anymore.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm starting to run out of names that I'm interested in. So
Yeah, for sure.
That went way faster than we.
Yeah, because this dude his name is Adrian Killens Jr. I was like, I ain't never seen you in my life.
yeah,
So I mean,
I
if
ain't
you guys
never-
want, I mean, if everyone's engaged, we could do like a 30-second, like a 12 round, real quick. I mean, we'll probably
I'm
bang
with
it
it.
out. We
Yeah,
could
that's
probably bang
cool.
it out in like 40 minutes,
Yeah, you guys want
45
to?
minutes.
Write in chat
I'm
if you
trying to
want
hear
to.
that.
do
Yeah,
it.
if y'all are down, we could do it. I mean, 12. I mean, we could do like a 12 round.
20-second clock.
Well, the least I could
Yeah.
do is 30. Well, the first 2 or 3 rounds will be pretty quick.
I think
We just won't be talking about every player fucking drafted. It'll be more picking, but
I'm with it. Let's
I'm
run
with
it.
Let's
yeah,
do it.
okay.
Here.
Here,
Are you guys with it?
'Cause I'm
Like, what are
down.
we looking at this time?
you fucking
Here,
give me
you guys can look at that. I guess.
45 seconds. I'll start it right now.
Yeah, your time is up.
No, ready?
45
shit.
seconds.
I'm about to create a league. Hold on, my bad. I didn't. I'm about to. Yeah, right.
So are we doing a
Here we go.
Are we
back to back?
Are we doing
Are we
it?
draking
We're doing
it?
it.
We're about to
doing
Drake.
it.
Drake.
I'm taking Drake just because.
All right. Here
Okay,
we
we'll pick
go.
him out.
Still, we're gonna do half point, 12 teams. Should we do no limit between picks?
I'm going 4.
I'm just kidding. 12.
Oh, there it is. I was like, where the?
12.
There I am.
Make sure it's snake, right? Yep. Hey, can you imagine what a vets only draft would look like? I would be uninterested after like what, the fucking 10th pick? A vets
vets
only.
only.
A vets only mock draft.
What's considered a vet? 4 years?
I don't know.
I feel
think-
like
I think it's
I think the
4
average
years.
NFL career is like 2 years or something.
Yeah, well, because someone told me that after 3 years you're eligible to make like this
Oh,
Yeah,
like
salary
the
limit.
retirement or whatever pension
Yeah,
limit.
pension, yeah.
So I think technically, it's like 4 years. I want to say
All
is
right.
when you're considered a veteran.
Here it is. I'm about to invite all y'all.
Yeah.
Give us a second. That was a
Send us
fast.
that
That was a
invite.
fast draft, though.
Yeah, no, yeah. Well,
was
because
fast.
it took. You know what it
Dude.
was? Is the other day we did a.
We didn't fuck around. That's why.
Will you send me the link again? In the.
There it is. I
on
just
the
sent it
computer?
out. Yep.
Will
Got
you,
it.
Will you email it to me though fast?
Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, I mean,
just
how am
kidding.
I supposed to?
Dude.
Want me to type in HTTPS?
All right. What's the email?
Okay. Well, I'm not trying to give my.
All right.
Tyler sent it.
Well, man, you told me the email was ready. Okay. Okay.
I know, but I'm not trying to
Freaking
have
okay. No, we're good here. We'll do
my
a.
email out
me go
there
with
on the
7.
internet.
I think I picked it up.
Especially it's my.
All right, y'all. Hold on. I mean, yeah,
Alright,
that draft was so damn fast. We'll put it
Alright.
up. We'll put it up on the page so everyone
we go.
can see.
All right.
it.
Well, so we're not.
Yeah.
There's a couple little while we're talking about
Oh,
this.
this is the old. other
Some
one.
Hayden Hurst news a little bit. Matt Ryan was kind of talking him up. So, we talked in the last episode about tight ends. It's just we Tyler was talking about how his name most people don't know, and now you're hearing the quarterback talk about Hayden Hurst. So it's good to see your quarterback having some chemistry with a tight end, and especially if he's going to be taking some of that hooper role. They're working together in the offseason and potentially for him to be an involved tight end. It's kind of it's like one of those good things to hear. You'd rather hear stuff like that than not hear stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
So just kind of some news on Hayden Hurst.
What round or what pick do I want here? Let's see. I see you, Chris, taking the 12. You fucking dick.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
How about you don't
All right.
yell at our fans?
We're done.
You don't even know these people, and I know
All right.
that.
I'm gonna go with 6 just because of that. Go ahead in front of you.
I went 3 because I want one of these top running backs. I don't want to get stuck not having a running back.
Did you guys see that?
He's like, even in my mock draft, I want to have a decent
you-
running back.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you guys see that the NFL officially canceled the mini camps?
Did they?
through June 26th.
I didn't see
That,
that.
that's
So
big,
we're not
that's
gonna-
big for rookies.
Yeah, so we're not going to get anything until. Currently, the planned report date is July 28th.
So honestly, as of late, these other states that kind of didn't take it as seriously,
Yes, Slutsdale.
yeah, like Arizona, Utah, all started.
Slutsville.
Yeah, Slutsdale.
Slutsdale, yeah. Here we got to send it to the medicine man.
That's not that worries me for.
But yeah, so these states are actually they're getting like big spikes in coronavirus, so it could screw up the beginning of the season, which is like I was saying the last time we recorded that I thought that we were going to be fine, like we were going to get the NFL started right at the beginning like normal, but
Yeah, and then
now it's seeming like it's.
I think today was like one of the big spike days. But I was talking to Tyler off air for a second, and I was like, because we were just discussing stuff, and I'm like, dude, I'm getting kind of worried about like, and not kind of worried. I was like, but if this gets extended, like, I'm gonna be worried about ranking rookies and giving them an optimistic early part of the season. Not even that. I'm gonna be a little bit worried about some of these new offensive teams that are coming in. That's a retarded way to say that. New offensive coordinators and new coaches that are coming in, because it's like if they don't get going until late July, August, you have a whole new system to implement. I mean, you're doing these virtual sessions, but you're not again on the field, this and that. These coaches got to start working with these players, and if there's like 2 weeks to do that, versus teams that already have an established, offensive coordinator, head coach, just basically, hey, let's get this stuff running again. They're going to be ahead of these other teams and the starters there. You're going to probably have Marlon Mack, if he's probably going to be he's going to have a leg up on Jonathan Taylor to start the season. So it's going to make me push Jonathan Taylor down, even though I do like him, because it's like if he only gets a week of work, they're not going to put him in there right away to a full workhorse role. And then some of these moving pieces with the offenses, it's going to make me fade a lot of these players when they haven't had the time for it. So kind of sucks to see that, because it's like it's going to dictate a lot of my rankings personally to probably some of these players that have established chemistry and all this stuff.
Yeah, like a team and a name that kind of just jumps to my head is the Jets situation. I mean, you got Jamison Crowder there. He has a rapport obviously with Sam Darnold. He knows the offense already. You get Brashard Perryman for free agency, but he doesn't know the offense yet. And Denzel Mims, who I think we all agree is going to be a pretty talented rookie. But then he's still got to learn as well. So could it maybe be a scenario where like Jameson Crowder is getting drafted in these later rounds where he kind of already knows the offense? And we did see Sam Darnold kind of lean on the slot guys. Even when Quincy Enunwa was the slot guy, he was getting peppered with targets for a stretch. No more Robbie Anderson. He's in Carolina now. Yeah. So maybe a guy like Jameson Crowder, could benefit from something like you were just saying.
Because he's good. I think he can get 100 targets at least there. I mean, they're going to be
for sure.
Yeah, he might.
It's not sexy targets, but they're targets.
He might get
for sure.
He might get pegged by Anthony for 120 targets.
He might get pegged by. He might get pegged 100 targets by Anthony.
God damn.
Yeah, I'm doing all types of pegging.
Good to start this.
Hey,
We
if
got
you guys
two.
don't know what we're talking about in the last episode, for some reason Anthony just kept talking about pegging these players.
All right, we're missing.
That's how I do. That's how I do my stats. I'm like, I'm gonna peg this guy for 130 targets. I'm pegging Calvin Ridley in my top 8.
Dude. Yeah, I think you said it probably 7 times.
I mean, I'm gonna keep saying it until he's there.
Jameson Crowder had 122 targets last year, so I couldn't see a scenario where.
Evan in the chat said Jimmy Graham a little bit earlier. I don't know. Maybe I think we were talking about Bears Titans. Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
All right, we waiting on anyone else, or can we get
one
to
more. I
this
just
person?
sent. One more. I just sent him a
Uno
text. I said if you're not coming
Uno,
with.
dos, tres,
Dice,
cuatro.
yo necesito hamburguesa. Tú tienes un pene chiquito, eh.
Oh, that's fucked up.
It's kind of funny because like our live stream is ahead, so like we're recording, but like I look over the TV sometimes on our live stream and it's behind. So I see our reactions.
I mean, as you guys are saying, as far as rookies though, a good way to find out info is just look up each team's like beat reporter, because they do like individual reports and they'll tell you a lot about rookies. I mean, just so you can kind of, if you want like slightly a leg up, because I mean they will talk about like we're talking about like the first second round of rookies, like those guys. You can look their names up and type in like Steelers news. It'll give you a little bit. That's how I learned about CEH also that. But that's
they're all trying to get better on the team, so it's kind of like, to me it's almost like it's not even news. It's just they're all trying to do shit.
Well, I don't mean to be an ass, but I feel like the teams treat their higher round picks better.
No,
they'll probably give him more info. Like that's what I'm like.
So you have a third rounder, you're not going to give him info if he's calling.
No, I feel like they will, but I just feel like they care more about CEH than they care about their 5th round draft pick, for example. I mean, not. I mean, as bad as that sounds. All right, Braden was in the other draft, and now he was still picking in the 6th round of the rookie draft. He is now with us. My man Braden, he is there. All right, now we can start it. Let's get it.
What happens? It does it ESPN, right? You draft an ESPN, it does it.
Wait, did you guys do the same? Did Medicine Man and Mikey both take 1st and 2nd in this draft too?
Did they like?
Yeah.
Sorry about the name, but
These
I
are
figured
people
y'all
who
would
don't
like
like
the name.
change.
Oh.
They like.
Is that okay, or is that
Redraft
part
Oh, the
two.
medicine man's got 1
Yeah.
second.
Well, I'm gonna scroll down in a second anyway. So.
Time's up.
Oh, so you're just gonna.
Oh, Medicine Man.
I wonder who's gonna take. Surprise
It's
there.
probably gonna be Christian McCaffrey if I had to guess.
Dude, I think it's gonna be
Dun, dun, dun,
Oh,
dun.
Saquon.
Saquon. Is it I thought it's Saquon.
Okay.
It is. I was just bullshitting. It is Saquon.
No, but some people do say Saquon.
do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck.
It's like Alvin Kamara.
or-
Like I've always said Kamara. And
Or
he's
like-
like, wasn't he like something like it's whatever you want to call him?
Tyrod to Rod.
I
Damn.
swear.
There you go. Is that
So
the
with
running
this,
back?
so this is interesting. With this holdout, are you gonna take? Because Alvin Kamara just went, but would you
find
be
out.
down to take Dalvin Cook because that's where he is?
I mean, I'm down to take him.
Not in the top 3.
Yeah,
Not in
top
the top
3
three,
now,
but I'm saying in like 4 or 5.
I think
Yeah.
Is it-
I still wouldn't take him there.
at 4 or 5.
I think with it,
It's too
if I'm
risky.
drafting Dalvin Cook, I'm 1,000% drafting Madison. You have to make it a
Right.
priority because you want to cover your investment, and you might even have to jump up a couple rounds from his ADP
Okay.
just to make sure you get him. But I mean, I can't imagine a scenario where Dalvin Cook sits out the entire season or multiple games.
But if you draft a first round pick and he misses 4 games, that's a big hit to your team.
yeah, but you draft Madison, just cover your ass.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
we
it's
saw,
a
we saw
commitment. I know
Eckler,
that's
we
not
saw
your thing.
Eckler
Yeah.
do it.
This is a
saw
person to
Eckler do
person
it.
thing.
Yeah.
It's not.
All
That's
right,
not.
I'm
That's
gonna
not my strategy.
go. Chris, I know you feel me.
Joe
What is
Mixon,
that?
huh? I think Joe Mixon will have like a bounce back year for sure.
Yeah.
I think the Bengals in general are not going to be behind in a lot of
I'm
games, so
gonna
they're
see
going
how
to
this
actually
works
run the
out.
ball a little bit more. Let's see Anthony go.
I'm gonna see how this plays out.
Devontae Adams.
Okay. I thought it took. I was like, no, hit Devontae Adams, not Josh Jacobs, because it went so fast.
So
You
Josh
got me
Jacobs
scared,
goes.
partner. I low key have Devontae Adams pegged to lead the league in targets.
Pegged.
Yeah, pegged to lead
I
the league in
mean,
targets.
he had what was it? 127 through 12 games.
I forget exactly what I have, but I actually have him for like 160, like 8.
What do you guys? Dalvin Cook. See, I mean, I don't mind.
Hey, dude's a
There-
man of
you
his
got
word. He
Dalvin
said he
Cook
would
right
take him
here.
in the first round. He
It's
took him in the
beautiful.
first
I
round.
love that.
He ain't bullshit. No flub. He's
No
sending it
flub.
in.
He's like, peg me with whatever the fuck
It is
you
crazy
want.
though, because I was thinking like if Josh Jacobs was there, I might have taken Josh Jacobs over Dalvin Cook. I do think Josh Jacobs is in store for a monster
Yeah,
season.
127.
You think so?
Yeah, and I think he could be like a sneaky like top 5 guy. I mean, not sneaky, but I mean, I think if he has a real chance to finish in the top 5, even over like a Dalvin Cook. If he was to miss some games, at least I know I don't have to worry about Josh Jacobs.
He was quietly like on pace for 300 because he missed a few games. He was on pace for right around 300 carries and a few more. He was basically almost on pace for what Derrick Henry like type of volume.
Yeah.
And that's with what do you have a broken shoulder?
Yeah, he's had a bum shoulder all year.
all
He still
year.
played.
So
The medicine man said his thing glitched. He said he hates the first pick.
I mean, you can't hate.
can't hate Saquon.
You can't
Okay,
hate
Chris,
Saquon.
you went
Yeah.
D-Hop
That's all
Julio.
shit.
D-Hop Julio.
But we did talk about Christian McCaffrey. Could have we posted on our Instagram and Twitter, but if he didn't get any touchdowns, he still would have been the number 1 running back.
I was gonna say, did you think that was our wide receiver run? Wide receiver run? Jesus.
I like the Tyreek Hill pick,
I know
but
Tyler
the Aaron
Miller.
Jones, I don't like.
I mean, this is half point PPR, so I mean, back-to-back wide receivers. I mean, those are, I don't know how many targets D-Hop's going to get pegged with, but Julio should get you at least 140, right?
Yeah,
Even with-
at least, yeah.
He had 150 something last year, so even with Ridley, which we talked about,
I got him going over 150. It wouldn't surprise me if he hits 160 plus this year.
yeah, and that's what I showed you last.
Like Michael Thomas is as good as he is, could actually finish like 3rd or 4th. Like,
oh, it's on you. You have 30 seconds just so you don't do it.
So yeah, I go Kenyon Drake right here. I was torn between him and Miles Sanders. It's a mock draft. It's for fun, so I'm gonna fuck with my boy Drizzy Drake. He's one of my man crushes. I think
thanks,
sky's the
Alani.
limit for that kid over there in Arizona. You get D Hop. You got Kyler Murray 2nd year in the Cliff Kingsbury offense. Love me some Drake.
Yeah, so my strategy paid off. Oh, I better hurry up and draft him before it doesn't pay off.
Oh, you son of a bitch! That's what I was.
Well, you didn't get snaked because that was next player on my board.
It was snaked.
There's no such thing as a snake.
I did get snaked. I literally got snaked.
But yeah, my strategy paid off
snaked
because
me.
I wanted Devontae Adams because to me he's a top. I might even actually potentially rate him over Michael Thomas as the number 1 receiver potentially this year. But so what I looked at is like there was a lot like for 5 running backs that went ahead, and I was gambling to see. I was like, if I can get one of Miles Sanders or Drake right there, I'm gonna be happy with that. So my gamble paid off. That's why I was like, let's see what happens.
For sure. And now it's on.
Mahomes
There we go.
with the domies.
Oh, that was an accident, but whatever.
And
You took Lamar
classic
No, I was literally about to click on Austin Eckler, but that's okay. I ain't mad at Mahomes.
goes Pat
He's
Mahomes.
He's Mahomes.
So we got the quarterbacks going in the second round. I think you're realistically going to see Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes go in the second round.
For sure.
Like I don't think those guys get out of it.
Maybe even
into the
sooner
third.
than this, depending on the league that you're in.
There's going to be leagues where they go in the first round. I can see both of them going in the first round. You know.
I feel like this is a pretty. I mean, we're all drafting in June, so I feel like everyone here kind of knows their stuff a little bit. So
For sure, the
in
people
leagues
that are
where
in the-
everyone knows
in the
their stuff a
chat.
little bit, I think that's probably really where you will still see them go. I have to chop my words.
Yeah.
Where you will still see them go, but like you said, in like kind of where you have these home league drafts where people aren't paying attention until August, you will see them go in the first round.
And that's why it's good. We only have one robot, and I mean, their team's pretty fucking good anyway.
Josh Jacobs and Chris Godwin.
Travis Kelce last year was going like 12th overall.
Yeah, T-Rex took him
That's not
right around there.
And then Mike just took him right now within the very end of the second round, 24th pick almost overall.
I don't mind that because
that's not bad. Yeah.
look at where Michael is too. He's right at that turn. So if there's a couple receivers he likes, like a stack right there of like whoever,
Galladay.
you can probably get one of those guys right there. So
Yeah.
it's like, why not take Kelsey? Maybe either if he was eyeing Galladay or someone else right there, you know. But he still might get a same tier of receiver or running back that he was eyeing anyways, and you get the number 1 tight end. So
For sure.
I like it right there where he's at. If it does happen in a real draft, I'll probably do that actually. If I'm in
I'm
the
hoping this he doesn't go and pick Clyde Edwards right here. I would love to have him right here, but
See, that's why it's
you
interesting
go.
to see. I mean,
Mighty Cooper.
there's so many different strategies you can take. I mean,
I'm down
obviously
with
with the 2
Clyde
running
Edwards
back.
right here. Just because I like the upside. I don't know.
I like that he has 3
It's-
names.
What, Clyde Edwards Hilaire? Yeah. That's what I don't understand is these hyphens when people get like married and then they don't change their name. It's like, what are we all gonna have 30 names in 30 generations?
Clyde Edwards Hilaire.
Jones, Johnson, Jeffrey the third.
Jones Johnson.
And by the
Jeffrey.
way, Julio Jones is officially Hispanic. Because what's his real name? Quintavious
his
Lopez.
name is Quintores Lopez Jones. He is half Hispanic though.
That's his real
He
name.
is, right?
His name is Quintores Lopez. That's why in our dynasty league, the people that are in it, for you know how sleeper you can put nicknames. I just put his real name as his nickname.
Is he actually
Quintor-
half Hispanic?
He is half Hispanic.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, you know,
Yeah.
his name is not.
His name is Quintores Lopez. He should have just been with that. That just sounds like a big ass receiver. Quintores.
Who you got to guard today? Quintoris? Oh, shit. He's about
shit,
to
I
make me
gotta
look
go
like
make my
Quintoris.
pick. All right.
So yeah, Chris Carson's go next and Melvin Gordon the tree. So that stands for the third. In case
It's
you were
good. It's good to see.
All right.
I love mock drafts
Oh, I
just
might
to
wanna
see
pull up
where
my,
people fall.
So I went with Le'Veon just because I think he's going to be better this year than last year. More weapons. They kind of patched up the O line as far as getting these guys on like free agent deals and this and that, and he still finished top 20. So in the third round, he's now at RB2, right? So I'm not mad at my first 3 picks. Oh, okay.
Leonard Fournette.
Oh,
Nice.
Calvin Ridley. That's what I was going to
Calvin
take.
Ridley, Leonard Fournette.
I'm just-
nice.
You're snaking us. You're snaking us.
Nice. Well, I was gonna go Calvin Ridley there. I know me and Anthony, if we're always in the kitchen downstairs, and we just talk about Calvin Ridley every day. I feel like so. I think monster season for that kid.
Yeah.
Shit goes
Coming
down in the
up.
kitchen in case you guys are wondering.
Yeah.
Told you. It's just Chris Godwin. It's
All right,
just
so
Chris
I'm
Godwin.
on the clock. Ooh, panic pick. All right, see, I was gonna pick him. I'll just go with George Kittle. Kind of just winging it in this mock
Kittle
draft.
in the
But that's
middle.
what
I like
that's
that.
what mock drafts are for. You
Yeah.
know, you feel it out, you wing it right here. I mean, I think we all consensus had George Kittle as our second ranked
Yeah.
tight
Yeah.
end. I mean, you know,
Yeah, for
the
sure.
guy's just a savage. 24 missed tackles was the most among tight ends and wide receivers. So when he gets the ball, he has the ability to make plays happen.
And he's about to get paid. So
Yeah.
I don't hate it because it's like you have a tier of receivers here where you're only 1, 2, 3, about 6 picks away, or because you have 2 running backs, so assume you might be looking to go
Yeah.
receiver. So I don't. You're getting the number 2 tight end who could even finish as the number 1 tight end potentially. He has that upside. And you might be able to still get the same tier of receiver, depending on how you view those receivers right there in the next pick. So that's where I like moves where it's like, okay, I have 2 solid running backs. Could you have went receiver and George Kittle would have probably been gone, and maybe you get the same type of receiver. Instead, you got George Kittle there. Now you can get the same type of tier receiver coming back. You might even get the receiver you wanted to take next.
For sure.
Yeah, and just keep in mind that there's been 35 picks. 20 of them have been running backs. So just remember that when you're drafting. Just know already we're at running back 21 and you're at pick 36.
One thing.
So just
I
remember that when you're
the
drafting,
last
so you're
mock
not
draft
surprised.
was that a ton of running backs went in the first 3 rounds, and it was like, but when you got
Look
to
at that.
rounds 4, 5, and
Oh my
6,
God.
it was like all receivers, a lot of good
I see you,
receivers.
Chris. I know what. Look at that. My boy's loading up on. He's got Julio, D Hop, OBJ, and AJ Brown. I mean,
That's
The computer is ready to.
no, it's not. Is that?
that's a computer.
Oh, because on my phone it doesn't say that.
The computer is playing 4 wide receivers.
maybe.
It's not. It's not.
it's not the computer.
It's not the computer. It's my boy.
So-
He picked his name as 3 dots. That's what I was saying.
Oh,
Because I was gonna say if you're
Gotcha.
looking, he literally
That's pretty funny.
okay, yeah. So as we're talking about that, the 12th person on this mock draft goes
His name's Chris.
all four receivers. Chris goes all
Yeah, he
4
has a name,
receivers.
Michael.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, I'm
I call
sorry.
you
It
Michael,
says
you
it says
should call him
dot
Chris.
dot on there. I don't know.
Hey, now you're getting aggressive.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
apologize.
you just
I
have to
apologize.
assume that the app wouldn't give you 4 fucking receivers in a row. So keep that in mind.
Sometimes it just goes
Sometimes-
whatever.
Hell no.
They are
Well,
route
actually,
robots.
one time I woke up late. I got the
see.
time zones wrong, and I that happened to me. I woke up and I had 5 receivers. I had maybe 1 running back. I think my running back was like a backup on the Patriots.
I mean, and you have to keep this in mind. People do have different strategies. Like some like to load up on running back. Some because this is a half-point PPR, and everyone in this chat, I'm assuming, is probably doing 2 flex. So all those guys are playing. You can use them as trade bait too. I mean,
So Tyler goes David
Oh, shit, it's
Montgomery.
my turn.
it's on you.
I gotta hurry up.
Yeah, I like David Montgomery. I was pretty hyped on him last year. Didn't have the greatest rookie year, but I mean, over 1,000 yards. The yards per carry weren't really good, so you want to see that improve. But I mean, he was highly utilized in like the rushing attack. I think it was 250 total touches. I mean, we could see that number push 300. I think in his second year in the Nagy offense.
Well,
Yeah, I went a volume-based running back. I probably would the next pick, Jonathan Taylor. So I'm just going to discuss that because that's someone I was thinking about too. But knowing what I know right now with the rookie camps, I don't want to kind of mess around with that situation. And maybe it's 5-6 weeks before Jonathan Taylor gets a full workload. Maybe we see kind of like what you saw with, we've seen with some of these rookies where Miles Sanders, carrying on a year before, where it takes a longer time because of this stuff happening. So to me, the running back starts to get thin. I might come back around. So I know David Johnson is guaranteed for a workload. So I'm going to take that, knowing what we know about the situation where the camps got pushed back, that I'm guaranteed an RB2 on a workload. Maybe Jonathan Taylor has more upside, but David Johnson's my RB2, and I can take some chances on upside running backs coming here.
Yeah.
That's a situation where I just did play what we know going on into factoring into my pick.
yeah, and I took him just knowing I wanted to get him and knowing I wouldn't get him on the way back. And sometimes in drafts, that's why you mock also. You have to know sometimes you have to reach, not too far ahead, but you have to know where players are falling so that all right, I have to reach here and get him because I know he's not going to come back. So I knew he wouldn't make it all the way back to me. So I was like, you know what?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, that was it. I mean, I just knew he wouldn't make it back. So I was like, and I already looked at what receivers I can snag because looking at my team, that's obviously what's next. I was like, I'm comfortable with what's there. So that's, you got to kind of look ahead a little bit.
And you already have one, so you already have 2 running backs. So let's just
Yeah.
say even if he's off to, he's in a timeshare, it's a slower process. You don't have to worry about that. Versus where I only have 1 running back, so it's like, if
You need an
I need
immediate-
that, immediate start. So you don't, like I said, if you don't even have to start him necessarily right away. So that's where team makeup plays into that. So we can get on to the next couple picks. You got Cooper Kupp, T.Y. Hilton, Robert Woods, Keenan Allen, and then Mark Andrews, third tight end.
I think the medicine man's thing is glitching. It's not working yet. It's auto drafting on X.
it's not that it's not working. He is
He's
left
not
the
working.
building.
He said his thing was glitching. He
I
was
think
just
it's
texting me.
Black Curious.
Oh, I thought he was just kidding because he took Saquon. So we're like, you didn't.
No, you're right.
And that's what I thought he was saying. Like, I don't like my pick. I mean, look at the receivers that you can get right now. So, I mean, depending on how you want to strategize your draft, but I mean, look, we're getting into the 5th, and you have guys like AJ Green still there, Juju. I mean, Robert Woods, who's solid. I mean, it's just to give you an idea of, or I mean, granted, that's also because Chris took 4 receivers, but There's still a lot of good guys out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of good receivers. I feel like in those rounds, like if you don't grab a good receiver right away, like there's plenty of good receivers. But compared to like the lack of how the depth of running back,
The
I
drop
feel
off
like
is
drops.
an immense drop off.
So I kind of panic picked right there almost because I was going to take Raheem Mostert and then I went and grabbed James White. I was just thinking about the Patriots not really having their quarterback situation figured out. James White's a pass catching back. For PPR leagues, he's kind of a nightmare. So, yeah.
Yeah, they say when you draft, the worst thing to do is panic. But
Yeah,
that's just
that's
what
why I
they
was just
say.
kidding. I was just kidding. I didn't panic.
I
dude.
got my pick in the queue. So
so-
the minute he picks, my
It's
pick's
they
gonna
though.
go.
I don't know. I mean, they could be wrong. They could be right.
Oh,
I don't
Brandon,
know.
say it.
5, 4.
I love asking people when they're like, they say that. I'm like, who's they?
Yeah, who's that?
They.
All right. See,
Yeah,
and this
they.
is when personal rankings come in.
Average fantasy.
I have Diggs as my top. I could put him at 12. So the fact that I'm getting what I like at 12 as my wide receiver 1 at 5, to me, I like my draft. But that's, you know what I mean? That's subjective. Some people think obviously he's wide receiver 5th 11 because look how many went in front of him. But
If I can get this guy right here. Oh wait, no.
DJ. Oh, back-to-back
I
DJs.
was like, if I get this guy here in the 5th round in real
Yeah,
life,
we've had
I will peg
an
myself.
AJ and we've had an AJ and 2 DJs in this round.
DJ Moore.
Nice. DJ Chark. I like DJ Chark a
Yeah, no,
lot.
DJ Moore's another great pick.
I think it's where the sleeper app comes into play because like he's on this app, he's a lot lower than he is in like some of the other rankings.
For sure.
So it's like almost. I was able to scroll down a little bit and take advantage of the app.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Because
take
Diggs,
advantage of that
yeah,
app.
DJ Moore would probably go
Yeah, take advantage of it.
before Juju
Ty,
for sure.
Keenan
before
Allen, he's gonna probably go before those guys for
Robert
sure.
Woods.
Maybe Cooper Cup, and it could.
There you go. Cam Akers. Go ahead, T.
Yeah,
Elaborate.
So I saw a little article on Cam Akers talking about how like we don't know. Obviously, the offense could change, but for the most part, in the last 3 years under the Sean McVay offense, the lead running back has had 14 total touchdowns, 21 and 19 total touchdowns. So I'm just thinking if Cam Akers could be that guy. I mean, what's his floor? 14 over 3 years. Maybe he's not as good as Gurley, but what is it then? 12? You're gonna tell me I get a guy who's gonna get me 10 plus touchdowns in the 5th round? Yeah, I'll eat it up all day, every day.
I will say to the note on just like that, McVay's came out and said that we have 3 capable running backs.
Yeah.
So there is a chance that this offense is a
Yeah.
3-headed monster.
And I mean, you kind of, not that you have to say that, but I know he's best fitted because he's been part of 3 battle lines, and the Rams are like, eh. Not saying but he's used to it. Not saying he's
They're
used
not
to it.
doing this to anyone. They're not going. They're like,
They're more like babies.
So yeah, your boy goes 4 wide receivers, but then he comes around and he gets a couple good running backs with DeAndre Swift and Mark Ingram. So it just shows you like he was being patient. He went wide receiver heavy, but I mean he's got some solid running backs right there.
And he's been doing mock, so
Yeah.
that goes to show you. Yeah, I mean, you can't be mad at it. Mark Ingram, DeAndre Swift.
Oh, Rudy, I see you getting Jarvis Landry right
Jesus.
the
My boy,
Hugo.
Juice.
Jarvis Landry. A lot of wide receivers coming off the board in these past 2 or 3 rounds.
And we've talked about 6th round is usually when the tier can probably start dropping a little bit, maybe mid-7. But yeah, it's a deep wide receiver class.
We got Bala.
All right, so I'm stuck here. I've been waiting on these receivers, but they keep going. Kind of torn between Brandon Cooks and Devontae Parker. My heart wants
That's
to take
weird.
Devontae Parker, but there's a lot of question marks with that offense. I think I'm going to lean with Brandon Cooks. I mean, prior to like last year where he got injured, 4 straight years of over 1,000+ yards,
Fucking computer.
tied to Deshaun Watson. I'll just take the chance that he could be that guy where he could see 1,200 yards. He's got that upside in him, and maybe he gets 7 to 8 touchdowns. And we seen Will Fuller; he can't seem to stay healthy. So if he does get hurt, that just makes Brandon Cooks' value even more.
For sure.
So Anthony's kind of in the middle, so he knows right here that if he doesn't take who he wants,
Oh shit.
he might go away.
Woo.
Devontae Parker.
Devontae Parker.
All right, with me,
With Devontae Parker, the Dolphins are actually the first team I'm working on kind of statting out. He actually does have a pretty high ceiling. And one thing you like to see out of him is, he did kind of break out last year, and it was against good corners and good competition as well. That's one thing I'm digging into when I dig into these teams is I'm going with the player and I'm looking at like what they do against certain competition. And I mean, against Tre'Davious White and the Bills over 100 yards, against the Patriots and their corners over 100 yards. There's 140, 150 target upside with Devontae Parker, so I'll take that chance, and high touchdown upside as well.
yeah. So I went with Tyler Boyd. Just sneaky productive. I mean, he was top 10 in receiving yards or catches and receiving yards. He had 147 targets, 90 catches, 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns. If I can get that in the 6th round, granted he's not going to get 147 targets, but it is proven that he averages about 2.3 more fantasy points per game when AJ Green's on the field. Yeah. So he's the number 2 with that upside where he can win you games on a week-to-week basis. Yeah. And getting that in week 6 as my wide receiver 2, I mean, I'll take that. I mean, he's a wide receiver 2.
Yeah, I mean, he cited Joe Burrow.
Damn it, and I got snaked right there, of course. And that's what you do is you don't plan on having this player because there's people in front of you that have to draft.
Yeah, where were you saying?
Kareem Hunt. Sorry.
Oh, Joe Burrow.
Just saying, yeah, Joe Burrow. I mean, he's used to having 2 receivers with Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, so he knows that he can go out there and spread the ball around. Like you said, maybe he doesn't see 149 targets, but what does he see? 110, 115. Yeah. And like I said, even with AJ Green on the field, it just helps him out. I mean, he's basically like a veteran now. What he's on 4 years experience?
5th, yeah. And just to give you an example for the ones that are like, oh, he had 147 targets, he was by himself. He had 147 targets, 90 catches. 1,046. The year before, he had only 108 targets, but he still managed to have 76 catches for 1,028 and 7 touchdowns. So he had more touchdowns, less targets. So he's going to be good regardless. And being a number 2, that's still solid.
The less touchdowns was probably a product of the
quarterback play.
So there was.
It
was
Jake Finley.
Yeah,
Jake Finley. So yeah, he 57 missed targets.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's not good.
I do like Tyler Boyd. He'll probably be one of the guys we touched on when we go. He's like middle round players that's the target.
Sure. It's my man, no homo.
But like you said, like we're just seeing there's a lot of really good wide receivers in these middle rounds. It kind of just makes me feel like going running back heavy is kind of the move because I feel like, once like if you go like receiver heavy, obviously getting receivers it's good too. But like maybe now you're like you don't have a running back, so now you're kind of like reaching. You're like, oh shit, like I don't have any running back. Like the best available is Sony Michel or guys, and you're just like, well, fuck, I got to take him because I have no running backs. But it's like you're passing up on guys like Tyler Boyd, Brandon Cooks, in a sense, Jarvis Landry maybe. So
the medicine man with the auto picks, Marquise Brown goes, and I'm going with Mr. Reliable, the last man standing on the Patriots offense.
Julian Edelman.
PPR monster. I feel like my team's very consistent.
Yeah, I like those receivers you have right there.
Balance.
Thielen, Woods, good 1-2 combo, and then I love Debo, and then your 4th receiver is Julian Edelman, who should be peppered with targets.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna target getting the third pick in any draft.
Hey, they've been watching
somehow maneuver that.
Vonner, you've been watching my rankings. I had Gronk at 6. Good looks. Damn, Matt Breida, good call. I was gonna take him earlier. I was hoping he'd get back to me. He literally snaked me.
Yeah, you just can't be a big burger bitch boy.
All right, so I mean, this wide receiver, I mean, it is deep. It's on me.
This is the part where running backs is rough. I'm looking at the top: Ronald Jones, Tariq Cohen, J.K. Dobbins.
See, this is where I like to pick my risk pick, and this is my risk pick with Will Fuller. 7th round, he's going to be the the number 1 there when he's healthy. Him and Deshaun are, I mean, 1A, 1B. I mean, him and Cooks, but I mean, when he's on the field and he's healthy, he kills it.
This is where I'm going to be a stone cold son of a bitch.
That's Alexander Madison right before Tyler.
Yep. And if we're in a real draft and we're 3 weeks away, I will take him there because it's 4 weeks away. Because it's I think if there's a chance of him going there, there's guys I can get back in the turn. But if he sits out the whole year, I'm getting the.
You're saying 3 weeks or 4 weeks away, and
from the actual season,
and he's still holding out, is what you're saying.
Yeah, if he's still holding out,
for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Because that's a pick that I could burn in the 7th round, but it's whatever, cool. Like he just said, Will Fuller kind of could be boomer bust, or some of these other next players could be boomer bust.
A player on your bench putting points up is a player that's not putting points up against you.
Yeah,
which we always talk about.
I mean, if he's a starting running back, he's probably
but I'm saying is it's right. But
if he's not,
it's better on your team than
or I can dangle him in front of Tyler's face and be like, hey.
"Oh man, I know Chris was trying to get J.K. Dobbins right there too."
Yeah, so I was actually gonna go Evan Ingram.
He's getting
I was
Ronald
gonna
Jones.
go
He's
have
getting
two
Ronald
tight
Jones.
ends, and sometimes I think for like draft equity, like if I can get two top tier tight ends, then I can maybe package them to get like a better running back, or package them. Maybe I trade Brandon Cooks, he's balling, and I trade him in like George Kittle, and I get one of these stud wide receivers. But then I still have Evan Ingram as my tight end. I was gonna take him there, but he gets snaked right before me, so I go Russell Wilson, who I think is kind of like, I don't want to say a sleeper for tight end. I guess you can call him a sleeper for MVP because he's never had an actual MVP vote. But I think Russell Wilson's got a decent chance of getting MVP.
He got auto picked. He wouldn't have picked Kyler. Oh.
Then it goes J.K. Dobbins, Phillip Lindsay, Kyler Murray with the auto pick, Dre's assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I might not be able to have this. Yeah, I can figure it out.
I told him it was
actually.
on him. He obviously forgot.
No, I'm talking about something else.
Oh.
I'm talking
Kyler Murray goes,
about
fifth quarterback?
something else.
Fifth quarterback, yeah.
Fifth. I mean, that's right around there.
And then Kerryon Johnson. So, he did get DeAndre Swift and Mark Ingram. So he's kind of got that Lions backfield locked up.
Oh, you mean, carry on? Yeah.
Yeah, he's got that Lions backfield locked up. So he can even, if Kerryon comes out as a starter over DeAndre, he could start Kerryon over DeAndre Swift.
For sure.
And then if it vice versa is halfway through the year, he could use, flip that. So
He's a backfield guy. That's why when I saw Dobbins get picked, I was like, he probably was going to get Dobbins because you'd rather have those two than the other two. All right, T. Ooh, CD Lamb. That's what I was looking to get right there. What are you looking at?
That's what I was going to take, probably. I'm probably reaching right here. Let's see what I got. 13 seconds. I'm kind of one of our sleepers, a guy we talk about a lot. I'll take Deontay Johnson right here. I'm kind of out of it. I'm just winging it.
He said I'm winging
Mock
it.
draft.
Hey, sometimes when you're out of it, you wing it. Just don't do what they say not to do, and that's panic.
Don't snake. Would you go?
Don't panic.
Don't panic.
I mean, there's still. Running backs are
Panic.
still
Not real. I don't like anything that's there. And be careful. Don't draft Duke Johnson instead of David Johnson. D Johnson.
that'll for sure happen.
Someone will do it. Don't
I'm
let
gonna
it
go
be you.
with Michael Gallup. I still think I personally think I don't think CD beats him out this year as a number 2 receiver. I think that's a year away. I think Michael Gallup's actually being a little underrated.
Yeah, some people have been jumping all over him. Like they're saying he's going to make that jump because he did have all those drops. So even if he cut those in half,
Yeah.
who knows what could have been. This I'm going to just go based on just lack of talent and from what I've read today. That's what me and Chris were talking about with Ronald Jones.
I was looking at him too.
They're saying, because he is still young. He's only like 22. And he didn't do too bad last year, but I think they're gonna let him and Keyshawn Vaughn kind of see. He has the advantage obviously this year with the whole training camp thing and rookies not being there. So I think that gives him a leg up for the first few weeks. So I'll take a RB1 in this 8th round, even if he can win me a game or two at this late in the draft.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
You're gonna have waiver wires for the first few weeks.
Yeah,
He's
for
your
sure.
RB what 4 at this point.
Yeah.
So it's not even like that's really like you're relying on him. So yeah, I was thinking about him too.
Because could he lose a job by week 8 or 9 for sure? But if he can win me even one game in the first 4 weeks, then he did his job. Because from where I've been taking him, I don't. Ooh, all right. Emmanuel, that's T's man crush.
Manny Sanders.
Manny Sanders.
Look, even now that there's still a good amount of wide receivers.
Emmanuel.
Because Christian Kirk had 70 catches last year. So in the 8th round,
Actually,
still straight.
just because I have Clyde Edwards, I'm just gonna go.
Smart.
on
I was going to
Damian
say,
Lillard.
smart. I don't mind that pick at all. Actually, I actually think
Insurance?
Damian Williams is being undervalued. We've seen situations where teams can have 2 top 24 running backs, and it could actually be. This might be more of these guys are both like 12 to 24
For sure.
than it is Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a top 5 and Damian Williams is 32. It could be a pretty close timeshare. And we don't officially know yet who the goal line back is going to be. And then to the point of the whole offseason thing, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, even though he's trying to learn, he has to get on the field. They have to be able to see what he's doing in pass blocking situations. Andy Reid's a veteran coach. They are a good team. He doesn't need to be in there week 1 in a big role because they can still win games and have Damian be the starter for the first few weeks as he gets accustomed to it. So I actually think Damian Williams in actual drafts is someone who's being a little undervalued. And if you go receiver heavy and you need a running back late, I think he's someone you can play as your RB2 week 1 going into it, where we stand now.
Yeah, for sure. And it shows you how powerful the Chiefs offense is. I mean, Damian Williams was like a top 15, top 18 pick last year.
That offense
And now they get Hilaire, and now it's just like, poof, like
Dude,
just forgotten.
so strong.
Just goes to show you.
I think they can
So
bring it
strong.
for run. I mean, just the Chiefs alone is really with the running backs and what they can do. It's really just them, but it's crazy.
We had Tevin Coleman go
Yeah,
next.
what do you think about Tevin Coleman, Dre? Since you're the residential Niners fan,
I mean, if he's a main running back, he's good. You saw he had the 4 touchdown game. Not that he can do that all the time, but the Niners are just so running back by committee like, because they have so much talent back there that it's hard to put one over the other. They're kind of like the Rams receivers. Like you can group them how you want, but there's not one true like consensus one. You know, people like Woods more, Cut more, just like with them. Like someone like Breida, Coleman. You have Mostert. I mean, Mostert went what, 2 rounds ago?
2 rounds of 4, almost 3. Yeah, I think Tevin Coleman. At this point, the Niners kind of know he's not a workhorse back, and it's going to be a timeshare. But there's going to be weeks where Tevin Coleman gets more points than Raheem Mostert
For sure.
So it's like you're getting that second half of that timeshare, but you're getting him 3 rounds later. And if anything were to happen to Raheem Mostert, Tevin Coleman's going to be thrusted into a little bit more of a role. So he's got weekly value, but he has some kind of back end ceiling value, which I kind of like to call it, where some of these guys are, if something happens, they're already playable on a week-to-week basis, but if something happens, they have even more upside baked into them.
He's like a glorified handcuff type. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's not a handcuff, but he's like
He's a weekly piece that also
paying
has
attention.
like handcuff in him.
I wasn't paying attention. I drafted Darrington Evans. Damn it.
Dude, is that Panay pick number 2?
No, I literally was looking
Like,
at
what
someone
did
was
they,
chatting.
what did they say
Someone was
like 3
asking.
rounds ago?
Someone was asking how they couldn't subscribe, so I was looking at that.
They want to donate
All
too.
right.
Or maybe you know something
They
you
want to
don't
donate?
know.
Yeah, donate.
So I went with Nicole Hardman.
Just kidding. We don't have it.
I mean,
I like
I mean, this late, we already said that. I mean, he only had what 25 catches.
Blake, we don't have donation set up.
I
by the
mean,
way.
we talked about offense. I have Mahomes too. Also, don't forget. So I'm going with like the super duper back end of double points. Because I mean, for the like we said, McCole Hardman did have so many long touchdown plays that having Mahomes and him, and if I can just match up 1 week with that, that's gonna gas your opponent. You know, if you start Hardman the 1 week where Mahomes hits him for a 50-yard touchdown.
Yeah, and on bye weeks, he's that guy where it's like, all right,
sure.
like, or if you're playing a juggernaut type of team where it's like it's week 5 and you're like, all right, this guy's stacked. Like I need some upside too. Let's just see let's say your team's like you're struggling a little bit. It's like, all right, I need some an upside play. It's like let me throw Hardman in there and see if he just goes off
sure.
and just drops some bombs for me.
Yeah, and he's more than likely like a flex too. So you know, it's like as long as he doesn't give me a 0, but with the upside for sure.
All right, I went Jordan Howard. Actually, I saw a hashtag interesting stat. It said since 2016, the NFL rushing yards leaders are number 1 is Ezekiel Elliott with 5,400 yards. Number 2 is Todd Gurley with 4,300 yards. And number 3 is Jordan Howard with 3,900 yards. I mean, we had no running game in Miami last year, so I think him and Breida will be a running back by committee, but he could see a lot of the goal line work. And I think the Dolphins' offense will be a lot better than it was last year.
Yeah, I went tight end, and I was kind of between Hayden Hurst and Tyler Higbee, but I think Higbee is a little bit more boom or bust. So I went with someone I think has a definite more consistency. So I went with Hayden Hurst right there.
Yeah, for sure.
Hayden
What round did you get him in the
Hurst.
9th round?
Yeah.
Nice.
He's like noted.
By the way, if you're watching us and you aren't subscribed,
have
we are
Rick right there.
we are 2 subscribers away from triple digits. So if you would subscribe to our YouTube channel, that would be beautiful.
We got to
If
98.
you haven't already, have already, thank you. We appreciate you.
Let's go.
Whoever's 100, I'll Venmo you $1.
Told you, man.
What do you got to? You can't not Venmo the other 2.
I'll
I've been
Venmo him
good.
$1.
No, Venmo the other 2 also.
Well, whoever's 100, let me
Whoever's
know
100
because I've been
on the
threatening
dot.
a lot of people and been telling I deliver a lot of in and
Don't,
out.
don't threaten people.
No, well,
What do you mean threaten people? I said whoever's 100.
No,
I'll Venmo you $1.
Dre just said he's threatening people.
Oh.
yeah, I'm threatening them with good friendship if they subscribe. I'm not giving them negative
Yeah,
alternatives.
dude,
I'm
he's
giving
in a good
positive
friendship,
alternatives.
bro.
Yeah, it's like I'm threatening you with a good time.
Don't be so soft.
Yeah, man, it's a good thing. Rawr. I'll give you tickets to a Raider game if you subscribe. Stuff like that.
Evan Vonner is with you on the Hayden Hurst pick. Likes Hayden Hurst.
Josh Allen. I was gonna get him as my second QB.
Well, you didn't.
You
so that
auto
sucks.
machine. You machine.
Yeah, Evan, we love Hayden Hurst. Or at least I know I love Hayden Hurst.
Actually-
I think I'm
T's gonna name his son
just all over,
Hayden.
yeah.
Hayden
That's
Hurst.
underneath.
I mean, I haven't ranked it like 8, 9.
Check,
So
check out the YouTube. Check out the video we did, Evan. If you want to watch us, we talk about Hayden Hurst.
Yeah,
and all the stats and stuff.
That's
like
actually it's actually the video right underneath our live stream.
Yeah.
It's, at least on mine, it's like a suggested
Nice, yeah.
video.
let's go with Mr.
Time's
I
up.
took
Drew Brees.
Oh, I got it in.
That's what
you did.
That's what he told. Let's see. What do we got?
It's crazy you're getting guys like Josh Allen and Drew Brees in the 10th round right here. I mean,
Yeah, I'm gonna pair it with someone else. So,
yeah.
but in the 10th round, I'll take. I have him. Like I think I had him pegged for second touchdowns.
All right.
Do you think he's better to be like a
Same.
paired, like, you know, we always talk about matchup based on the quarterbacks you grab two. Are you more comfortable with him being like just your one, set it and forget it every week, or more comfortable grabbing two quarterbacks and playing the matchup?
Potentially, I will grab someone later in case the. Like I said, I'm playing a little bit of narrative with Drew Brees. I think it's possibly as last year they're going to go out and throw the ball a little bit more. We did see the shift in the red zone a little bit more to passing, but a little bit more. You do add Emmanuel Sanders. It's just another weapon in the red zone. I think Kamara is going to get his. I said Drew Brees was on pace for I think 40 touchdowns or something like that. So not saying he's going to get 40 touchdowns, but if he gets 35, I'm probably start starting him every week. If he's starting,
as long as he doesn't shard
that's
himself.
shitfully starting him.
Well, that's usually what happens after you get pegged. You
Yeah,
shard.
if you get,
You got back
yeah, you probably do shard.
to back Dolphins. You guys would be proud.
So,
Back to back Dolphins.
but in case it is
I
kind of
wouldn't-
more of a balanced offense, I'm gonna take that second quarterback just to back myself up.
All right, Tracy, you go. Mike Gesicki. You know, I love Gesicki too. I'm a Dolphins fan.
Somehow I
You get
accidentally
him in the 10th round, though. I think that's some solid value right there. The guy's got top 10 upside. You
Yeah, I
know.
mean, especially with just excuse me, the way my team looks. I got 3-3. No, wait, Jesus, 4-3.
I'm gonna get you some like lemon water before we start
I
recording.
need like tea.
he needs some milk.
I forgot my first pick. Oh, it was
he
Joe
needs
Mixon.
some
Was it
milk.
It was Joe Mixon.
I went and grabbed a receiver, Sterling Shepard. Danny Dimes gonna throw some dimes actually this year, so I'm with
sling
it.
that dick.
It's crazy. Slayton went before Shepard by 2 whole rounds. That's, that's crazy.
What's it called? But even right here, I feel like there's a lot of these receivers are kind of like in the same like area. Like you got Golden Tate. There's still Anthony Miller's really good still. I think
I'm kind of
there's a lot of good receivers right here
yeah.
still.
This is
I
why you
think
gotta
what
mock.
Even Larry
I think what happens is
Fitzgerald.
the league is like it became more of like it used to be more just like that X receiver was getting a majority of the targets. Now you're seeing guys implement 2 wide receivers that are getting the share, or even 3 on some teams, and then the tight ends are getting involved, the running backs are getting involved. So the targets are getting spread out a lot more than they feel like they used to be back in the day, where it was like, all right, we're looking for our X. He has to be 6'4", jump out of the roof,
your
and run this.
prototypical
Yeah,
big guy.
prototypical. Now it's like sometimes they're just like, we just want the best receivers we can get.
It's like, yeah, Tyreek Hill is like, he lines up outside. Like, you don't always have to have like a Alshon Jeffrey.
Yeah, like-
That's like a big boy.
Oh, you big boy.
But he always hurt big time. Big time.
Ashon had big
Oh,
bite.
it's on you, Mike. Don't slow this
Oh
draft
yeah,
down.
yeah.
Don't slow it down.
Oh, let's do this. Oh, you guys ready for this pick, dude?
Big Ben.
No, not Big Man.
That's what I thought you were gonna take.
Anthony Miller. I actually like that pick.
Yeah,
Especially
I like
where
it.
he's
That's why I
getting
picked it.
I mean, you're getting a number 2 receiver in the 11th round.
Okay, what do you guys think about Sammy Watkins? Because obviously, Pat,
Don't ask me that.
I'm not touching him.
I'm probably saying
We've had
I think we're-
Blind-
because
I think we touched on
Our
it that
Sammy
we
Watkins
there
went
could
for
be a
like 2 years
scenario
ago.
where
It was a red zone thing.
McCall
Wait, guys,
Hardman takes
I'll
over.
talk at
Is that
once.
second
One
round
person.
receiver, you know?
After last year, what he did.
McCole Hardman.
Yeah, I
you
mean, the
like-
guy was talking about retiring, so I mean, his heart is kind of like not all in on football, probably.
Well,
But McCole Hardman's kind of like, hey, I've still got to prove myself.
You know the problem is his heart is actually reptilian, so that's
Yeah,
why it's not
he
football.
definitely looks like a
He's-
lizard.
Oh,
he
the Broncos guy goes Drew Lock. I
Drew
see you.
Lock,
He
Drew
believes
Lock.
he's a lizard. You know that, right?
I-
lizard person.
He looks like a lizard
I'm
person.
not even making that up.
I like Drew Lock.
All right. So I'm gonna go.
I like Drew Lock a lot.
So this is gonna be my vet pick. I mean, there's people ranked way higher, but I just think his upside he can win you games. Deshaun Jackson,
I like it.
he had one game last year and he scored 27 points. So
Yeah, so you pace that out, dude. He's the wide receiver 1.
I mean, let's be real. What's actually
You're,
funny is
you're getting him in the 11th round, so if he doesn't pan out, it's like you don't invest too much capital in him.
Yeah.
Now he's someone I was gonna actually bring up that I like on one of these episodes. Saying I think he's being undervalued.
Yeah,
Do you think he's
'cause-
someone you could have got a little later?
well, now I don't think I could have got him all the way around. I just think somebody would have thought maybe what I'm thinking, like, because he's back home with the Eagles. He's happy to be there. I mean, the one game he did play, he balled. I mean, Carson Wentz, it's not like you're going to put Jalen Reagor out there in front of him, especially with this offseason.
Yeah,
So the first 4 or 5 weeks, he's going to play, and he should have a Deshaun Jackson-like game in one of those.
Speaking of Eagles receivers, Alshon Jeffrey just went.
Alshon,
You know what,
look at
computer? You know what, computer? Fuck you.
I actually backed up my Hayden Hurst tight end pick with the Tyler Higbee tight end. If he does hit, it's like if he does hit the boom, it's like I have potential 2 top tier tight ends, and I actually would trade one of those. Even though I never do trades, I would trade one tight end if I have 2 tight ends, because I'd be like, I'm not going to start one of these every week.
Draft a trade, little daddy.
I don't draft trade.
You know,
I've said that every time.
I have a hard time doing these 13-round, 12-round drafts just because I do like to grab my tight ends and quarterbacks in the very last rounds. So like right here, it's like I'm like, oh, okay, I got to take them.
Well, think about it this way, though.
You know,
Good thing you're mocking just to see how many are already going to be gone by the time you like to draft. So maybe mocking, it's like maybe I shouldn't wait this long, because like, what do you have? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
I'm not going to tell you who I'm going for.
No, I'm just saying there's already 13 quarterbacks taken in 11 rounds.
Yeah.
So maybe you might have to start that a little
But
sooner.
I mean, there's still decent guys. I'm not mad at.
Okay, well, listen, if Big Ben is still there, just take Big Ben, okay?
Okay, well, that's not what I'm talking about.
I'm just kidding.
Well, most of the
But-
quarterbacks actually didn't even go until round 6. We had 2 go off, and then 6th round hit,
Yeah,
and
for
then it's
sure.
like they started actually coming off slowly but surely.
No, I mean, it's true. You still got
there you go.
it's true. You still have 3 really good ones in Jones, Stafford, and Baker. And maybe
Yeah,
you can sneak
man.
in Jared Goff up there.
Yeah, I'm not going to, but for sure. I don't like Jared Goff. Is all I'm saying.
Oh,
But you know what?
He
called
doesn't
me
like
on the-
me.
He called me on the cell phone. He said he doesn't like you.
called you on the
On
shell
the cell
phone.
phone.
Yeah, he said he doesn't like you.
Cause you call me on the cell
On
phone.
the shell phone. Oh, it's on you, Mac.
I was drafting real quick.
Golden
I mean-
Tate. Golden Taters.
Golden Tate in the 12.
Tate.
Tate in the 12.
That's an old episode.
If you're a true fan of this podcast, which there's like
100,000.
300,000.
I got you. I know what you meant.
Golden Taters. It's a
I'm gonna
throwback
go.
right
I
there.
kind of think this guy has a little bit of a bounce back season.
I like that actually. I was looking at that earlier.
It was like his efficiency was like it just didn't match who he is.
Yeah, had 100 targets.
Yeah, 100 targets, and who like he's a playmaking guy, and for him, I think we only averaged like 6.4 yards per reception, which was like I didn't watch a lot of Bears games, but I don't know if Matt Nagy was just like throwing it to him to the sidelines, and then there was like 3 guys right there because he wasn't being creative, but like it just didn't match up. I kind of have him pegged for a little bit of a bounce back here.
Yeah, you fucking yeah. You. Have
And then
him
if David
pegged.
Montgomery is kind of inefficient again, it wouldn't surprise me if he got a little bit more of a rushing role as
More
well
rushing,
too.
yeah.
Watch Vonner.
You go
smack
Baker Mayfield
who I'm
right here,
trying to
Dre.
grab right
You know
here.
me, I'm hyped on the bake train. I think the bake show bounces back.
What team is he on?
We need to
My
give
team.
me a pegging prop.
What team is he on?
The
Yeah,
Cleveland
with
Browns.
Okay.
with him, it's
No, I forgot for a second.
with him, it's someone I would draft a trade
Being
because
facetious.
especially if you think he is going to be top 5, you can with Mahomes or anybody. I mean, you can take him and you can draft or trade him away. I mean, if he's balling
For
after
sure,
a few
yeah.
weeks.
That's the second time. This fucking.
You're getting mad at Evan. He's snaking you.
so
Dude, are you getting
annoying.
snaked?
It is.
So annoying.
But it just shows you, like,
Whatever,
I grabbed
dude.
Russell Wilson in the 7th round. I do like Russell Wilson. Now I'm just reevaluating my draft. Like, oh, there were a lot of good quarterbacks
Baker in the
still. I mean,
12th.
yeah, Baker in the 12th, Stafford, Matt Ryan goes.
Andre Navarro on the 12th.
You had in the 10th round, Josh Allen and Drew Brees went right there.
Dude, that's so annoying.
So it's like,
Whatever.
yeah, I mean,
My
like,
bad.
starting. That's why you mock. You know what I'm
For
saying?
sure.
You reevaluate what you did. You try to get better each time, and like okay, like yeah, maybe I could grab another position player there, and because I could wait on quarterbacks.
But that's
This-
what
this
that's
is
what I
a-
mean is like.
Hey, look,
go
you
ahead.
did go Big Ben.
Well, yeah, because I got snaked right there.
This
I
is
was
a
gonna
league
get
where
my-
it's like more.
Damn it.
It is more like a knowledgeable player. So it's like you can kind of take that to like when you play in a league where the 3 of us play, and we've been doing it for like 8 years. So everyone's kind of more knowledgeable. So this is kind of a little bit more realistic where you'll see quarterbacks go versus when you play with some people who are just like the casual player, like they show up to the draft with the piece of paper, sometimes magazines, and then they're ready to go. Like these quarterbacks will go
Sure.
earlier. So that's where it's like kind of know your draft and who you're playing with.
You know, there's one guy that does that in our one of our
the
leagues,
last pick in
and
the
I
draft.
I always think that he's like messing with us because
Magazine,
yeah, because I'm like, dude, he has to be like throwing us off.
like a poker strategy.
Like maybe like oh yeah, they think I got a magazine because it doesn't make any sense
because
because
it's a
every
fake eye that's going this
like
way.
every year I think like oh yeah, everybody knows not to do that, right? And
Your
then
medicine
this
man
kid
is just
shows
holding
up.
us up.
Oh yeah, I know. His thing was glitching.
Hey,
He
Mike is telling a
texted
story,
me.
Dre.
Sorry.
Yeah, good thing you interrupted to say that the medicine man's auto drafting.
What's your point, right?
Hey,
his
Evan
thing's
said
glitching.
Stafford's his guy. Go away, Mike. I mean, that is true. He is a Lions fan.
Get
So-
bugged.
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
See, that's why I say you don't get snaked because it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
that
he
was
got his lines.
favorite player.
By the way,
I love
so
Stafford though. I think Stafford, like I said, you get him in the 12th round right there.
Real quick, though,
he was on
on-
pace for 5,000 yards
Go ahead,
last
Mike.
year.
on Stafford, what I was gonna say is that he did come off. He had a back injury. He had surgery. Am I correct on that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna go more in depth. We were gonna do it this episode, but we're gonna go more in depth. We have the medicine man is actually a licensed physician assistant, and he's gonna be giving us the rundown on all these injuries and like kind of go in depth. He actually sent me a bunch of pictures of like the actual injuries, like what they are. So we're gonna go like in depth on these injuries and whether or not they can bounce back and whatnot. So stay tuned for that. We'll let you know on Twitter, Instagram, all that. What goes on with there? But I'm gonna go
excited for that.
Greg Olsen. I've been high on Greg Olsen. I wouldn't actually draft him here in the 13th round. You could probably get him in like the 17th round, to be honest, like literally one of the last rounds. But I like
He said I
Greg.
took him now.
Well, I just wanted to like to mention.
No,
him.
that's what I was telling. Me and Tyler were talking about
nah,
drafts. Where it's
he'd
like
go sooner
I
than
tell
that.
Tyler, I was like, dude, if I know someone's gonna go in like the 15th round and it's the 13th, I'll take him at the 13th if he's someone I like.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what's the point of me? Like these are all players where it's like, what do I want to chance it? And then he gets taken, and then I'm pissed. It's like I'll take him a round or two in front of his ADP because that's someone I want, and it's paid off for me in leagues. It's like, you know, there's times where I'll get a player and he ends up hitting, and I have him in every single league because of the fact that I know he's going in the 12th. I'm taking him in the 10th because I want him, and I don't give a shit if it's 2 rounds early. Because we're getting to names where it's like, okay, these are just backup players, but it's like this is someone I want. I'm taking him in the 10th, and if he goes in the 11th, I'm gonna be mad. So it's like I could get him in the 12th, 13th, but I'm taking him where I want him.
For sure, I agree.
Science.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, now I gotta scroll down.
Yeah, I took McFarland. I mean, at this rate, 13th round.
I'd probably
James Conner's one injury away. I mean,
Oh,
taking the
Minshew.
Savage Garden.
Gardner.
I've been
out
saying it since the beginning. I'm taking him in every draft.
Nice.
Nikhil Harry, I like that one.
Stafford's my guy.
computer.
Computer's like, you know what? Pound it.
Dude, I think the draft. Dude, I mean,
Thanks, Mike.
well, think about it. They're at Jags. Oh no, look, they got Fournette and they got DJ Shark. I mean, they're out there doing their thing. The computer probably has the best draft. We suck.
Shout out.
I hate Fournette Liger that way.
Yeah,
it's just that's disgusting. To me.
I went
Shout out to-
Devin Funches right here in the 13th round. I think I'm going to take a lot of shots on Devin Funches as like a lottery ticket. I mean, basically, he's like the number 2 in that offense. I mean, MBS didn't really pan out like we all thought he would last year. A couple other guys on the depth chart. I mean, you have Lazard, you have the another guy, I can't remember his name, Kamara. But I mean, those guys are just like they were like literally 3rd, 4th, 5th string guys who were just in there because they had no one. I mean, Devin Funches, you know. Just a big body guy, so I mean, it's second wide receiver. Aaron Rodgers is slinging you the ball. I'm going to take a lot of shots on Funches, but like I said, if it doesn't pan out, he's my 13th round pick. I could always just drop him.
Yeah, it's gonna be him or
This
Lazard
looks
as
like
the
Blake
2,
Bortles.
so-
What a bum. You're a fucking
It's just
idiot.
fine. One of those.
Take Blake Bortles.
Dude, is they gonna come back?
Don't do
Solid, dude. Solid. No, man. I mean, Aaron Rodgers can get hurt, dude. Oh wait, is he a free agent?
Yeah, I
that.
think
Yeah,
so.
I was gonna say, wouldn't
He
that be
probably
Jordan Love?
You probably scrolled down to the bottom.
Aaron Rodgers got hurt.
That's great.
That's pretty funny.
Gardner Minshew and Blake Bortles in the same round. It's fucking fantastic. Well, there we go. I mean,
Fantastic.
we'll
did it.
screenshot this. I mean, should we take a picture of this? Post it there?
Yeah. We can screenshot it.
Let's take a photo and let's make shirts for everyone who drafted, and we'll send them to everybody.
Yeah. Exactly.
Wait, did you say shirtless? Is that what you said?
No, I said let's take the photo of this, make shirts with the draft, and then send them to everybody.
Because Mike's,
Yeah.
Mike's out here making shirts.
I
That'd be
actually
kinda
did
fun,
buy.
like someone has to
I
wear a
did buy
shirt.
some. What's it called? Because I want us to go interview some people like at Raiders Stadium beforehand. Well, depends on what's up with this
Yes, yeah.
coronavirus thing, but yeah. Is there anything else? That was dope. I'm surprised we got that in. That was
Yeah.
We
that was
banged out
pretty
2
good.
drafts in an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah, that was
Dude,
good.
we got that in and we banged it out.
Bang, bang, bang.
Oh man, I'm so high right now.
Y'all want to do a WNBA draft? I'm down.
Yeah, let's do it right now.
All right. Let's do it.
Should we do a
Cheryl
what's
Swoops.
it, shuffleboard draft?
Maya Moore.
Or what's the thing with the
Curling.
curling? Do they only actually have a curling place in Vegas?
Jared.
Really?
Yeah, I want to go.
All right, come check us out. We're gonna do a curling episode next time. We're gonna do
Live
a 40.
event.
We're gonna do our 40 sprint.
Yeah.
We didn't forget about
40
that.
40 hands, 40 sprints.
40 sprints.
Oh yeah,
40s.
yeah. We do need to do that. We were talking about that on a previous episode. Do a 40-yard dash with 40s taped to your hands. Do you have to drink them before you finish it?
No, you have to drink 40s until you drink the 40s.
You got to run 40s until you finish
40s,
them.
yeah, 40s.
Oh, so you just run back and forth like, dude, just
Yeah,
sprint
so it's
until
like you get a chug and then you got to.
Well, I mean, you can chug them then run. Or...
I was thinking of like a Beerio cart. You know how like you can't drink and drive. Like you have to finish it by the end. So it's like either you should have to chug a 40 and then run to the end of the 40-yard dash.
You know how hard is chug a 40?
Yeah.
Super hard, but you'll be sitting there for a minute.
40 minutes. All right, well, we'll get a
140
trash
is
can.
not
We'll
that
figure it
bad.
out. We'll get
We'll
this.
get a
If you have
trash
a good
can
idea of
here.
how for us to finish this 40 hands,
40-yard dash
Yeah.
with 40s.
email us or
Ounce.
DM us.
All right, that was
Hit us up.
13
Yeah.
rounds. We'll go over a bunch of shit, next week.
Hey,
Okay.
shout out Evan, Trey, Medicine Man, Dre's homies. What are his name?
Chris, Braden,
Braden.
Yeah.
Minnie.
Shout out yo guys.
Rudy.
Appreciate you guys. Rudy, Minnie,
the Revellises.
Thanks for joining us.
Mike. Shout out Mike. Hey, Mike. Shout out to you, dog, for just putting this together.
Yeah.
R2D2 for being here.
You get it, the tech
Sorry,
guy
I
over
almost-
there, dude.
Sorry, I almost kicked you earlier off air.
It's fucked up, dude.
That's fucked up.
I was just getting so mad at my bumper on my car, and Tyler was fucking with it, and I was like, "I know it's broken." And
Well, I mean,
I kicked my car so hard, I've almost kicked him. But
I mean, just so y'all know, we were going to do a full mock next week, but we just banged them both out, so we're going to do something else
yeah,
next
we're
week.
gonna have
we'll
to
figure it
game
out.
plan that. But yeah, thanks for listening to the AVG Fantasy Football Podcast. You're part of the #1 podcast. Period. Number one
universe.
podcast in the universe.
Period.
So
After the
you
strawberry
joined
one.
us with the live stream show, and like we appreciate you for being a part of history right now. Okay. You
Be
want
the
to see?
100th, be the 100th
Could you
subscriber.
imagine if you were like Kevin Hart's first fan? You know how many he sells out arenas. Could you imagine that? If you're part of the AVG Fantasy Football fandom right now, you're ahead of the fucking game, dude.
That's right.
All right.
Because when we fucking get to 101 followers, you're going to be like, I was there.
I was there. I was there when they had 98 subscribers.
I've been here. I've been
I'm
here.
trying to.
Hey, Savory.
I was
Delight.
there 6 subscribers ago.
I'm out, bro.
Honestly,
Fuck
look,
this.
I used to follow Joe Rogan's podcast in like 2014, dude.
Yeah.
And-
Mike's one of those guys where he's like, "Oh, you listen to Joe? Oh, I've been listening to him since
Yeah.
2009."
Like,
you
oh
listening
yeah, I
to
showed you
Your
that
Mom's
song.
House?
I showed you that song.
I listened to that song first.
I showed you that song. Don't forget.
I don't even call him Joe Rogan. I call him Joe. That's my whole
Hey,
Yeah,
Jay.
I don't call him Joe Rogan. I call him Joe. I'll be like, "What's up, Joe?" But thanks for listening. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. Shoot us a DM. Any type of fantasy football advice you need, Dynasty, whatever it be, we got your back. You see. Yeah, leave us a review on the Apple Podcast app. That really helps us out in the podcast world to be the #1 fantasy football podcast. AVG. We're out of here, boys.